It is February 15th, 2017, and it's been about 10 or 11 days since I built these two little auxiliary battery packs. Built the 3-cell pack there and the 4-cell pack, and I really wanted to be experimenting with these, discharging them down and charging them back up, but unfortunately we have just had a ton of rain practically every day, as you can see here. It has really been coming down, and that means the solar panels in the window simply won't do me any good. We've also had some nice sunny days here, but unfortunately during those nice sunny days I can always manage to be at work or somewhere else other than at home, where I could be setting the panels up outside to play around with solar. It's a rainy season here, and it's just the way it is right now for the month of February. But eventually I'll be able to take the panels outside and really start testing these. And unfortunately, another week of rainstorms is heading our way. It's actually hitting us today. So taking these solar panels outside and setting them up to have some fun after work is just not in the cards for the next week or so. But there are some projects I can be doing in the meantime, like these two blocking diodes. These came with the kit that I bought, the two kits that I bought to build those solar panels, and these are the blocking diodes, and I never installed them. I'm not sure just exactly how important these are. I think all they do is to keep the energy from the batteries from going back into the solar panels when they're not being used, such as at nighttime when there's no sun, obviously. If the batteries are connected up to the system, I guess the energy can flow back through to the solar panels, and that's what these are supposed to do to prevent that, apparently. So I'm not sure which way to hook these up. There's a little marking on there, and I can't see it because I don't have my big heavy-duty glasses on, but I know one of them has the little flags on the end, so I need to for sure figure out which way to wire those in, but that's something I can be doing definitely this week. So the next project I was planning to do was to build another 12-volt 3S pack using these 12 cells right here. The capacity on these goes from 2,000 milliamp hours down to about 1,700 milliamp hours. So I wouldn't want to put these in the big pack, and it just so happens these are the last 12 batteries I have. So I plan to build a small little Tesla pack out of these next. And the 48 cells for the big, large 12-volt 3S pack are right in the box. They've been stored in here for quite a while. I drained this entire pack down. It's now at a resting voltage. As you can see, the cell meter 7 is hooked up, and it's telling me I got 9.156 volts. So that's really, really good for storage as far as I know. That means each cell is just slightly over 3 volts. So that's good. That's going to be perfect to work with, and hopefully in the next couple of weeks I will actually start putting this large pack together. But first we'll get on to this little 12-cell pack. And before that I'll get on to installing these two diodes on my solar panels here. So stay tuned for all these fun-filled lithium battery projects coming up. Alright, a little update on what's been going on at Dan's house. We're continuing to have rain showers off and on for the last week. Right at the moment we got a little bit of sun, but 5 minutes from now, but then that can change and we go back to some sunshine. So I haven't even been attempting to do any kind of solar panel experimentation. But what I have done in the last couple of days is get all the 18650s I have out. Right now they're all mounted into parallel. I've got 3 rows of 16 They were mounted in series to make a 12-volt pack that I was experimenting with. All those there, those are going to go into the big pack eventually when I build it. They're all well above 2000 milliamp hours. And everything's currently holding at 3.08 volts. These 12 here that you see, plus these two here, these are the batteries that I'm going to build the next little pack out of. I'm going to build a 12 volt 3S pack out of those coming up very, very soon. These 12 are all under 2000 milliamps, so they would not go into the big pack. A little bit of sun out there today. So today I'm going to go ahead and install my blocking diodes on the solar panels here. One for each panel. I did look this up and discovered that the part that has a red flag on it, it also has, they have the marking on the end there of the diode, the little shaded area. That part, the red part, goes towards the battery from my understanding here. So it's going to go in my hot wire right here, so it's basically going to be mounted like that. So I need to remove the tapes here on both of these and then cut the wires to the length that I want and then solder that in. Alright, I think I'm ready to start soldering. I got the iron hot and I've got the wire cut, the tape pulled back, the wire cut. Everything's good to go here, and my little helping hands thing, this is the first time I've ever used this. Definitely going to come in handy. So I just need to make sure I'm not going to do this backwards, because if I do it wrong, I would imagine it won't work. So let's get this soldered. Okay, well, that's not the best soldering job I've ever done, but it is in place and it is solid. There's not going to be any stress on it. It's just ultimately going to be just taped down there to the board like it was before. So it should work. I need to test it out now. And I didn't put heat shrink on it. Perhaps I should have, but I didn't see any reason to do that. So let's get this set up and see if it'll work. Okay, well, it's all connected up, and indeed the panel seems to be working. I'm getting 11.5 or so volts out of it. And if I hook that up backwards, nothing should be coming through, correct? I don't believe it would. It would be blocked then. So let's go ahead and connect our battery up and see what happens. And unfortunately, it is not working, because I went over there and I grabbed the wrong battery off the shelf. That's the 16 volt battery. I need the 12. And now with the correct battery and plugged into the charge controller, it is now working. And I'm only getting 11.8 volts. So you see it does find the panel, but the panel is not charging. Let's turn the load off there. And there's just not enough voltage, because that's a 12 volt battery and I'm not even getting 12 volts. So I would have to get up to at least 12 or whatever. At least I don't think it'll really charge much until it's up there around 14 or so volts. So anyway, it is appears to be working. So go ahead and get the other panel done and get it up here, and we'll see if we're all back into business. Okay, done soldering. Here's panel number 2, and once again, not the best soldering job I've ever done by any means, but it is working. They're both working good, and both panels are now connected in parallel and just sitting in the window, just gleaning from outside. There's no direct sunlight on them. They are giving me 13.4 volts. So that's pretty good. That would be enough to charge. I just don't have it connected up yet. So let's go ahead and connect it to the controller. I'm doing it one-handed. There we go. So now it's dropped it down to 12.0 something or other. And the panel's working. My battery is actually charging now. It was pretty full before. I used a little bit of it, but it's pretty full. So the charge controller will let it go up to 12 something. I forget what I have it set at, but it'll shut off when it gets full. But it's really not going to charge much like that. It's just not. It's going to take all day to bring it up to full because they need to be out in direct sunlight. So that was a success story. Just need to tape it all back up and make it all secure. Hopefully it'll all hold together. Shouldn't ever be a problem with it. And now we'll get started on building that 12 volt S-Pack out of those last 12 18650 batteries.